I'm Logan and I'm 21.
My name is Kranti and I'm 22 years old.
My name is Tom and I'm 21.
Christopher Summer, 28.
I'm Cody, and I am 21 years old.
My name is Donald, and I will be 58 years old in 2 weeks.
Anthony Vetter, 19. Freedom to me is the ability to make your own actions and choose your own path, and then liberty is more so being within a set of laws and stuff, being able to enact your own business and take your approach to things, but live within guidelines.
Well, to me, freedom means freedom from something, freedom from tyranny, for example. Liberty means liberty to do as one pleases. Liberty to.
Most people think that liberty and freedom are things that are just completely the same, but I think that liberty is almost exclusively political liberties, as in rights and principles through government that allow people, like the freedom of the speech, freedom of religion, that kind of liberty. Freedom is something a little bit more that has to do with your just personal autonomy. So you can have all the liberties in the world, but still be beholden to other people through debt and through just promises you make, obviously. One example is like myself. I'm not exactly free because my father pays for my college, and I basically do things at his behest. But I'm relatively free as far as my political liberties in the United States compared to the rest of the world. But then my father, he's wealthy. He owns a small business, and he has a lot of freedom in that regard. He's has a lot of autonomy to do what he wants and to live his life as he can. And so freedom is something that you have to literally earn. Liberty, though, is something to, that's something more political, a little bit more difficult to get a grasp on.
Freedom is something that there's no restraints. There's no outside organizational restraints, no government interference. Liberty is very similar. I see liberty and freedom as very similar. Basically, it's the ability to do things that you think that you want to do without having other interference. Now, that doesn't mean that you can go out and kill someone. I mean, you have certain boundaries. Like you can't infringe upon another person's freedom or another person's liberty. It's, but you should be able to do pretty much anything you want in a free society.
Freedom and liberty, man. No, I mean, I think they're pretty relative. I don't know. I guess freedom is more. I think freedom's an imposed sense. It's something that you think about as yourself. It's like, oh, I'm free. Like you have to be free from something. Whereas liberty is just more the idea that, I mean, that's just what we should be in general. Not so much what we need to be free from, but more why we should have those kind of freedoms. Yeah, freedom is just too personal. It's kind of selfish.
To me, freedom is kind of like just our natural rights as like human beings, like our right to make our own decisions and just kind of live our lives the way that we want. And liberty to me is kind of what's left after we sacrifice some of those freedoms for protection from our government. So like, I don't know, we give up some of our liberties in order to have a government that provides stability for our country and our state, and that's what's left is our liberties after all that.
See, I'm pretty pessimistic as far as the liberties that we have in the United States. We compared to the rest of the world, we're pretty good, but I'm a student of history, and any crisis situation, liberties mean nothing. Pretty much completely mean nothing. So I see especially today, I see. I mean, I can't name any liberties that we really have that aren't threatened completely. Just with the post 9/11 world, it's a perfect example of a crisis that hit, and then we give our freedoms or our liberties for some higher purpose, security, and even things like the economic collapse, being the taxpayers being browbeaten into bailing out the big banks and whatnot. It's if as long as there's a political entity around, your liberties aren't safe, I don't think.
What steps could be taken to save those liberties?
I mean, I myself, I'm a libertarian, and that's a political position, and you could do only so much as far as being involved in politics, but I personally don't think that I don't think that liberty can be achieved through political means. I look at things trying to just move past political control, and what I see in our generation, it's the internet is like the biggest opportunity for liberty. There's recently Bitcoin, which is a internet currency, and it's peer-to-peer, so there's no central spot where the government can go and arrest people for using Bitcoins, but currency has been something that government has always had control of since the beginning of whenever they first came around. And to have such a revolutionary instrument in the internet, you can do a lot more than you used to be able to. You can get access to information that hasn't gone through sort of the corporate media. You can get information it's information revolution, and the opportunities for us are boundless with just moving past the political control and trying to find ways just irregardless of what they're trying to do.
I think religion and state makes too much.
Makes too much?
Yeah, and I think they should be more separate, and I also think that the government gets too personal. We should have less government.